The Zodiac killer case, hot on the tail of the Zodiac. On the night of December 20th, 1968, at about 11:11 p.m., we know that James Owen drove by the turnout on Lake Herman Road. And I don't believe that James is the Zodiac killer. So who was the last person to see David and Betty and their car? The raccoon hunters, Frank Gasser and Robert Connelly. And so they seem to be the key to finding the Zodiac killer. Now, Connelly and Gasser were questioned by the police on December 21st at 9:22 p.m. because Peggy Ure identified them. And it looks like Connelly told the police officers that the Rambler was parked southwest of where they actually found the Rambler. And he told them about the four-door hardtop 59 or 60 Impala parked there when they arrived. Now the police conducted a second interview of Canali on December 26th at 2:35 p.m. And I think the reason they did this because, well, there were some discrepancies in what he told them the first time. And Connelly made several interesting statements. One, while they were there, they saw some sort of activity up there. All the lights were on, but they were a little distance away and couldn't tell what the activity was. Now they were walking up the creek towards their truck. So that's what he means by up there. 2, Connelly said that they were back at their truck a total of 5 minutes, and a car came in and it turned around and drove back in the opposite direction towards Benicia. And he said that about 5 minutes later, they drove his truck, a 59 Chevrolet, red in color with white wood sidebars and cattle guards, back to Gasser Ranch heading towards Benicia. And as they passed, the Rambler was parked on the bank. That would be on the south side. And he did not see any person in the car. Well, all these statements don't make sense because Peggy Ure was there about 11 or after. And Connelly is saying that they were there 5 minutes and then they left 5 minutes. So that would put them there at 11:10 when James Owen is there. And he states that the car is in a different location than where it was found. And remember, Stella was there at 11:15. So he's mistaken or he's lying. And third, Connelly suggested that the police call and see a gentleman by the name of Harland, who lives at some number Hargis Avenue. It is possible that the gun is there because Gasser does not leave his guns at the ranch because of recent thefts. So who is Harland? Well, I found out. His name was Ralph Hall, and he was 26 years old at the time of the murders of David and Betty. He was heavy-set. He is about the right size as the Zodiac has been described. So I'm going to first tell you a little bit about his parents. In 1940, his father, Ralph V. Hall had just moved to Vallejo from San Francisco and Ventura, California, and he was divorced and 38 years old. And in 1942, according to his registration card, he was 5'9", 160 pounds. And he lived at 1014 Napa. And he was married to Caroline Hall, Ralph's mother. Now by 1950, you can see that the three of them were living in Benicia at 204 either L or K Street. And our suspect was 7 years old at the time. And then tragedy struck. Ralph V. Hall, Ralph Hall's father, died while out hunting. Now, Ralph Hall, who went by his middle name, Harland, moved to Vallejo after his father died, and he attended St. Vincent School, Catholic school, in Vallejo, where he should have graduated in 1960. Not sure if he did or not. And then after that, he married Donna R. Mason on November 30th, 1963. And after that, he lived, or he was a neighbor of Robert Connelly's on Hargis Avenue in Vallejo. And he lived there throughout the 1970s, where he divorced his wife Donna. And then, according to this, he lived at 1745 Lopes Road. Well, that's exactly where the Frank Gasser Ranch was, or very near there. And so here you can see the map of that location. So I'm ending this episode with the side-by-side comparison. And so is this the Zodiac killer from Lake Berryessa? Could there have been two killers? And he just died a few years back. And so here's another side-by-side comparison when he was older than the sketch. Well, this ends this episode of Unsolved, and next weekend I'll have more information about either Ralph Hall or Robert Connelly. So I'll see you next weekend.